The Nightbeat starts right now.
A popular nightclub in San Antonio now the target of a city councilman. Why he says the recent deadly shooting in its parking lot is enough to close its doors.
The 67, that's a failing score. I'm with you.
That manager of a Southside Mexican restaurant seemed surprised when Tim Gerber showed up this week to ask questions about their recent inspection. What happened after the manager went behind the kitchen door. But first, we're starting with breaking news. We're told that a 75-year-old woman has died after she was hit by a vehicle. We have a crew there on the scene. It's on Pleasanton Road near Loop 410 in Buchanan. We're told the driver who hit the woman did stop to try and help, and that person is not going to be facing charges. But again, that area is blocked off right now as investigators there try to figure out exactly what happened. A 75-year-old woman hit and killed tonight by a vehicle. In other news tonight, a city councilman wants to shut down a local nightclub after a shooting. One person died. 3 others were hurt last week outside of Pravat Social Club at UTSA Boulevard in Vance Jackson. But as the night team's Patty Santos explains, that wasn't the first time that police had to go to that very bar.
Anybody who looks at that list of calls should be alarmed. This is 100% unacceptable. A bar like this should not be allowed to continue to exist.
District 8 Councilman Manny Pelaez says police have been called to Pravat Social Club more than 300 times since it opened. Now he's calling on the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission to pull the club's liquor license.
This is the very first time we have ever had to protest the renewal of and request the state not renew a liquor license for a bar. I mean, this is the nuclear option.
The rare move comes a week after a 20-year-old man was killed and 3 others were injured in a shooting in the club's parking lot. Police records show the shooting is one of more than 100 911 calls for service to Pravat in the last 7 months. Pelaez says his office was not aware of the ongoing problems until the fatal shooting.
There's clearly something broken on our end as well, right? To where if we get these many calls and these many red flags being raised, and the first time a city council member hears about it is when somebody is killed, that's unacceptable too, right?
The club's liquor license is up for renewal next month. Pelaez's letter will be on the record asking that the license not be renewed. A spokesperson for TABC says their investigation could take weeks or months.
We're live at the scene here. We did reach out to the owners of the club and we just received a statement from them a few moments ago. They tell us they are cooperating with investigators. They also expressed their condolences for the families that were impacted by this incident. Moving forward, they say they're going to start increasing security. They're also asking for police's help, increasing surveillance here in this area in key times. And they also say they're blaming this incident on the prevalence of gun violence among young people. Stephania?
Patty, thank you. A little boy is hurt and investigators blame his mother and her boyfriend. We want to show you 24-year-old Brandy Laurel and 25-year-old Justin David Garcia. Both of them are in jail tonight facing child injury charges after the little boy had what Bexar County deputies describe as serious injuries to his head, face, and legs. Sheriff Javier Salazar says that the little boy was seriously hurt.
These are no minor injuries that we're talking about. We're told that had he not had this surgery to his legs, 2 things. He would have been in excruciating pain, needless to say, but additionally, there may have been permanent loss of the use of his legs.
Now, tonight, that child is recovering in a San Antonio hospital, and that's Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar. He said the couple could face more charges in this case. Texas lawmakers want to impeach Attorney General Ken Paxton. In a unanimous decision, the Texas House Investigative Committee issued 20 articles of impeachment against Paxton. Those include bribery, conspiracy, and misappropriation of public resources. The state's top lawyer has been under FBI investigation for years over accusations that he used his office to help a donor. The Attorney General releasing a statement just a few hours ago, in part saying, quote, "I'm doing exactly what voters elected me to do. It is a sad day for Texas as we witness the corrupt political establishment unite in this illegitimate attempt to overthrow the will of the people and disenfranchise the voters of our state," end quote. Now, Paxton was also indicted on securities fraud back in 2015. He has yet to stand trial for that. Only 2 officials in Texas's nearly 200-year history have ever been impeached. By the way, the state house could vote on impeachment for Paxton as soon as tomorrow. He would then be tried in the Senate, and if he's impeached, Paxton would be forced to leave office immediately. Back here at home, the Helotes City Council is taking a stand against a proposal that would dump about 1 million gallons of treated wastewater into Helotes Creek. That's the swimming hole in Gray Forest where some of that water could end up. The council voted unanimously to oppose the water permit by Municipal Operations LLC to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ. The company would operate and dump the water that would come from nearly 3,000 homes built by Lennard Homes near Babcock and Scenic Loop. Now, people are afraid the development is way too close to the boundaries of the Edwards Aquifer recharge zone and would pollute their drinking water.
This is important, not just for the city of Helotes, but for anyone here who drinks water.
In a statement, Municipal Operations says that TCEQ has established a policy to the application process and that, quote, we have and will continue to comply with all that is required. TCEQ says the process could take months to reach a final decision.
I mean, everything we had is what we lost in there, so, but material, as long as we got out with our lives, that's more important.
You have to feel for that woman. She lost her home in an early morning fire. Happened around 4 o'clock this morning on Elmo Avenue near South Zarzamora on the city's south side. That woman and her husband were asleep in their travel trailer when they started to smell smoke. They got out, but they lost everything else. You just saw the trailer a moment ago. The flames destroyed their home and trailer. Fire crews are still working to figure out exactly what sparked those flames. Today marks exactly 3 years since the death of George Floyd, the May 25th, 2020 killing of the 46-year-old at the hands of Minneapolis police officers sparked protests throughout the country. And if you remember, it was caught on camera as a crowd of bystanders shouted at officers to stop. President Joe Biden released a statement today saying Floyd's death, quote, exposed for many what Black and brown communities have long known and experienced, end quote. Bad news here. The United States is getting close to losing its perfect credit rating. The American credit rating agency, Fitch Ratings, put U.S. credit on something called Watch Negative as efforts to address the debt ceiling crisis remain in limbo. House Republicans want to make budget cuts before agreeing to raise the debt limit, while President Joe Biden and Democratic lawmakers are seeking a hike with no strings attached. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has repeatedly said the U.S. could have its first ever default as early as June 1st if they don't reach an agreement. Now, this could be a record-breaking weekend at the San Antonio International Airport. Memorial Day weekend travel is expected to bring in passenger numbers that, frankly, we just haven't seen since before the pandemic. And as the night team's John Paul Barajas explains, this could be the busiest weekend in the airport's history.
The number of airport travelers is soaring ahead of Memorial Day weekend. Airports across the nation expect high volume, and San Antonio is no exception.
We're all glad to be back and post-COVID, and hallelujah, amen. Thank you, Jesus.
Super excited that people are back in the air and flying, and the planes are packed.
San Antonio International Airport is set to have its busiest Memorial Day weekend in its history. Starting today through Monday, Airport Director Jesus Sainz says the airport anticipates nearly 187,000 travelers.
In November of 2022, we actually matched 2019 numbers, but 2023 will be our first year where we really begin to see some of this rebound that we've been expecting.
Sainz believes passenger counts will increase throughout the summer. And even with the rise in traffic, the people we spoke to were all smiles.
I think it's so awesome that we were greeted almost by a band that was playing. Now the airports in Fort Lauderdale need to step it up.
Sainz tells us the increased travel is great for the city, but might bring along some headaches for those who don't plan ahead.
It's the area that we are experiencing an enormous growth in the parking. The way we're tackling that is providing valet service.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
All right, there is a reason that sweet little girl, you're about to see her twirl. Yeah, you twirl too. She's now cancer-free. Find out more about little Amy right after the break.
And we have a lot to talk about, a lot to go over. NOAA's hurricane outlook for this season for the Atlantic Basin, the new drought monitor comparing it to last week's, and Memorial Day storm chances. What could stir up some storms in just a bit.
Now, he said he'd be right back, but the manager of a Mexican restaurant disappeared behind the kitchen door when Tim Gerber dropped by this week. Was he hiding from their failing score? We'll talk about that after the break. A popular Southside Mexican restaurant failed its health inspection last month, and when the night team's Tim Gerber dropped by this week to find out what happened, the manager didn't serve up any answers. Instead, he disappeared behind the kitchen door.
Taqueria La Tapatia, located in the 6700 block of South Flores Street, saw its previous score of 82 tumble all the way down to a 67. That's a failing score, according to Metro Health. The inspector found a long list of violations, including 6 repeats. They had to throw out food in a cold hold that was too warm. Knives stored on the knife rack had food debris on them. Workers were not washing hands when changing tasks and handling food. Those who were washing their hands were doing it in the wrong sink. Other employees were seen touching food with bare hands. In all, the inspector found 22 violations. I stopped by this week to see what they had to say. The manager on duty seemed surprised when I showed him the inspection report.
The 67, that's a failing score. I just wanted to follow up and see how you guys did on the re-inspection and if you guys had made some improvements on this.
Yeah, let me see.
Okay, sure.
I think it's in the kitchen.
Okay.
The manager went behind the kitchen door, but he never returned.
So he doesn't want to talk?
We've requested a copy of the re-inspection report from Metro Health. El Potosino Mexican restaurant in the 7200 block of San Pedro earned a 79 on their April inspection. Raw beef was stored above containers of veggies. The inside of the ice machine was dirty. The inspector watched a cook crack a raw egg, then handle ready-to-eat food without changing gloves. An employee's medication was stored near a reach-in cooler. Clean utensils still had food debris on them. They also needed to do a deep cleaning of the business. Seoul Asian Market in the 1000 block of Rittiman Road got an 85. An employee had to discard several food items in a cooler that was way too warm. It needs to be fixed before they can use it again. There was an accumulation of black residue in the ice machine. Kimchi bowls were damaged. Dead insects needed to be removed. Employees were reminded to wear hair restraints, and the air vents needed to be cleaned to remove dust and debris. That's what's behind the kitchen door. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
And now here's a quick update to last week's BKD. We told you that Claudia's restaurant in the 1300 block of Pleasanton Road got a failing score. The owners told us they weren't running the business when the inspector came last month. But this week, the former owner called KSAT to contest that claim. She says that she stopped operating that business last November and then turned it over to her cook in December. She said that when she owned the restaurant, she routinely got high scores. By the way, the business is in the process of changing its name to Lindsay's Cafe. On a lighter and much happier note, a little girl's battle with cancer is finally over. That's adorable little 5-year-old Amy Murkowski celebrating with her family and nurses after being declared cancer-free. She's adorable. We've told you about little Amy before. She wasn't even 3 years old when she was diagnosed with leukemia. She's been bravely undergoing chemo treatments for about 2 years. Look at that smile. And now she's healthy and happy. Her family is so excited. They've been through so much. They tell us that Amy is looking forward to her upcoming dance recital and also starting kindergarten in the fall. She also has a big brother named Aiden who has been super helpful to her and the entire family. We're so happy for them. Congratulations, Amy. Now here's a live cam we want to show you outside. This is along 410 near our airport. By the way, we want to talk about the airport because a lot of people are traveling. I just went on the website for the San Antonio International Airport. Departures, arrivals, all on time. It's really a beautiful thing considering this is a holiday weekend because it won't be long before hurricane season starts and then we'll have delays all over the place.
Yeah, that can happen, of course. And we have NOAA's 2023 Atlantic Hurricane Outlook, of course, which includes the Gulf, the Atlantic Basin. Now, the forecast is for a 40% chance of near normal season. Think of it this way. There are three possibilities: below average, average, or above average. When you have equal chances, they're all at 33%. So NOAA right now is saying a 40% chance of near normal, which would be anywhere from 12 to 17 named storms, of those 5 to 9 being hurricanes. El Nino is likely to kick in a little bit more, which typically suppresses hurricane development. And it's a balancing act between that and warmer than usual sea surface temperatures. Let's talk about our storm chances around here. 0% for Friday and Saturday, Sunday up to 20%, then Memorial Day Monday, we're at 40%. Then those chances taper off a little bit more as we get into next week. So something we're watching is the development of storms in West Texas and North Texas, and then also just in our area developing by Memorial Day. Quick look at the drought monitor. This is last week's. Okay, this is what we had last week. Updated today. Look at the difference. We really shrunk down the exceptional and the extreme drought area. Show it to you one more time. I know, it's fun to see. Okay, look at these improvements. Voila! It's good to see that. And we even added some rain today from the remnants of a North Texas storm complex that hit parts of the hill country. Over an inch of radar estimated rain, eastern Edwards County, much of Real County, even into Uvalde County. So that was good to see. And again, we'd have more storm chances in the days ahead. Across the state, we could use more rain, especially west of I-35 up in the Panhandle and West Texas. And that's where we have the activity. And this is that weather pattern when we have the northwesterly flow aloft, the steering wind coming out of West Texas and even North Texas. And this is where they get thunderstorms to basically come together and organize into one cohesive system. And when that happens, we sometimes get those leftovers, which is what happened west of town earlier today. Happened early yesterday morning as well. Could happen the next couple of days, but odds are against it. We'll keep you updated if something looks like it's actually going to have the steam to make it here. Otherwise, Big Blue H to the south over, well, basically western Mexico. That's why we have that northwesterly flow aloft. This is going to influence our weather the next few days. And then as we get into Memorial Day, a little disturbance slides overhead, and that's going to boost our storm chances to that 40% we were talking about. 85, that was our high today. Morning low is 69. That was average, but our high was 4 degrees below average. Record 103 set back in 1989. That just gives you an idea of the potential this time of year. Temperatures are going to be running a little below average for the foreseeable future here. 68 in the morning tomorrow at sunrise, 83 at noon, then 87 the high temperature. Partly cloudy, mixture of sun and clouds, mainly those patchy fair weather cumulus clouds that pop up. But when we're 87 in town, typically, we're a little bit warmer, closer to the Rio Grande. Eagle Pass at 90, Cotulla, 94 tomorrow, Timberwood Park, 85, Lavernia, 87 degrees. And throughout the weekend, in the 80s, 87 Saturday, then down to 85 on Sunday, 84 the high on Memorial Day. The average 89, so we're running a little below average.
Okay, and that's always good when you're talking about the weather, especially during the summer. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Stephanie, how you going?
Good, good. So we got to talk about softball, baseball, East Central.
That's right. East Central has been on an historic run by far. It's the deepest run in program history. And today they begin their regional final in Beeville Jones against San Benito. How did they do? We got the highlights from game one. Plus, Johnson Baseball opens their regional semi-series today as well. Got highlights from that one as well. Next. For the first time in program history, East Central has advanced to the UIL Class 6A softball regional final. They open their 3-game series against San Benito tonight in Beeville Jones. Hornets in the jam, though. Top of the first, bases loaded. Miro Rodriguez drives a base hit up the middle. 2 runs come in to score part of a 3-run inning, and the Hornets trail 3-0 right out of the gates. But they respond in the bottom of the first. Izzy Estrada sends a seeing eye single right up the middle. Kiana Lipardo scores, and the lead is cut down to 2. But the Hornets get no closer. They fall 11-1 in 5 innings. Tough result, but Game 2 is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. We've got a 1-game playoff for the UIL Class 3A regional final. Jourdanton taking on SGA in Corpus Christi tonight. The Squaws fall behind early in the top of the first thanks to a sac bunt and a wild pitch. Then in the top of the second, an RBI single drives the deficit up to 3-0. Jordanton does plate 2 runs tonight, but the Squaws come up short of state with a 5-2 loss. High school baseball has reached the regional semifinal round, and the Johnson Jaguars are still alive in Class 6A, starting their 3-game series tonight against FAR San Juan Alamo in Laredo. But it isn't a great start for them in Game 1. Bottom 3, Andy Gamboa goes deep to left field for a 2-run blast, and the Bears jump out to a 4-0 lead, so the Jags have to claw their way back into this one, and they do. Bottom 5, Masa Chilcutt goes deep to left as well. That just stays fair around the foul pole for the solo shot, a highlight of 4 straight runs as Johnson ties it up at 4 apiece. But the Bears plate the go-ahead run in the top of the 6th on an RBI single, and Johnson drops Game 1 5-4. They will face elimination tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. In Class 5A, Bernie Champion opens their 3-game series against Corpus Christi Gray with wrestling superstar Bill Goldberg in attendance supporting his son. Bottom of the 4th, Chargers down 3-2. This isn't going to help. Fly ball to right is dropped, allowing 2 runs to come in to score. Chargers end the inning down 6-2, and Champion drops Game 1 8-2. The Chargers are back at it tomorrow afternoon at NEISD Sports Park at 1:30 p.m. and KSAT 12 Sports will be there. In Class 2A, the Kennedy Lions face Johnson City in Game 1 of their 3-game regional semifinal series at UIW. Both pitchers came to play today. Johnson City's McCary Jacobs and Kennedy's LJ Barrientos both struck out 2 batters in the first inning to set the tone on the mound. And then the Lions broke through in the top of the 2nd. With runners on the corners, Barrientos shows bunt at the plate. There's a check at first base, and Rylan Reyna takes off from home. He slides in safe. Kennedy strikes first for an early 1-0 lead, but Jacobs gloves down a hot shot a few batters later and turns a 1-5-3 double play to end the inning. Just like you draw it up, Johnson City takes Game 1 4-1. Series continues Saturday at 4 p.m. And in Class 4A, Davenport defeated Sinton 1-0 in Game 1, so Davenport is up 1-0 in that series. Game 2 is Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. at NEISD Sports Park. Day 1 of this year's NAIA Softball World Series is in the books, and Our Lady of the Lake had the day off. Saints are currently making their first World Series appearance in school history and are ranked number 2 in the nation, a ranking that ensured them a bye through the first round of action. How important is that bye for a team that's experiencing this level of play for the first time?
I think it's really important, especially for a lot of us, or honestly all of us. We've never been there before. We've been the highest we've been is the regionals. So being able to go, take it in, have a day to relax and kind of just see what we're going to get into is really huge. And it's really exciting, honestly, to be able to have that bye.
The Saints will face Marian University Indianapolis in the 2nd round tomorrow. The Knights did defeat Midland 2-0 to advance, so Olu will take the circle at 6 p.m. Brandon Cooks is fitting right in with the Cowboys. Next.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Cowboys are back on the field for organized team activities, only going through run-throughs. No physical 11-on-11 drills just yet. Quarterback Dak Prescott is thankful to have some consistency in the wide receiver room this year. He's throwing to CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup at practice already. Now you can add speedy wide receiver Brandon Cooks to that mix. Dallas was already one of the best offenses in the league last year, so how does Cooks feel contributing to that unit?
It's special, especially when you're a part of something that's already been moving the train at a fast pace and been doing great. You just want to come in, fit in, and come in and make plays. And I just want to continue to bring, just that explosive play, being dynamic, something that they already got, but just really just want to just build on that.
The Cowboys have 6 more practices and will return to action on May 30th. The NBA Finals are still not set. Game 5 between the Celtics and Heat was owned by Boston in the Garden tonight, and Boston set the tone, jumping out to a 35-20 lead after 1 quarter of play. They cruised to a statement win again, 110-97. Miami still leads the series 3-2. Game 6 is Saturday night at 7:30 p.m., but the pressure now squarely on the Heat to finish this off before it reaches a Game 7.
See what happens Saturday.
Yes, we will.
Thank you, and we'll be right back after this.
Looking dry the next few days. If a few remnant thunderstorms from North or West Texas action starts to make it our way, we'll let you know. But odds are against it. Until Sunday, a 20% chance, and then Memorial Day up to 40%. But look at those highs, below average for this time of year.
Okay. You could have been anywhere tonight, but you chose to be here with us. We love you for that. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.